Left-Wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
Welcome to the Left-Wing King podcast. Today we're going to be discussing Caitlin Clark's rookie contract, the Trump hush money trial, and Mike Johnson risking his job to provide aid to the Ukraine. I'm your head moderator in charge of HMIC Malik, and I'm joined today by my queen, Walanda.
What up?
And King Ace.
What up? What up?
Of course, we got our girl Tina in the background holding us down. So let's get it cracking.
She's back.
Yes, sir. The hot topic bouncing around basketball courts right now and the public opinion is Caitlin Clark's rookie salary. The sensational guard from Iowa was drafted #1 by the Indiana Fever, and she is set to make a whopping base salary of $76,535 in a rookie year, totaling 4 years. The total is $338,056. Now, when you compare this to your boy Wemby, your Spurs, I'm surprised you ain't wearing your Spurs gear today. Wemby gets $55 million for a 4-year contract as he was drafted #1 by the San Antonio Spurs.
Mhm.
Now, Walanda, is Caitlin's salary fair or foul?
Foul. Her rookie contract is not even like almost, I don't even know if it's a fraction of what her counterparts are going to make. I mean, on the court, as far as you're looking at males. So not even a fraction of that. She's the NCAA Division I right player, overall top scorer, or at least one of the top, because I think there was some information that came back. There's some historical people who've done, but right now she's the #1 scorer, #1 draft pick. Her viewership is more than your baseball and also even NBA. But we call it a gender gap. I mean, it's like a gender, I don't even know what that is. It's appalling to me for her not to be looked upon or even understanding the fact that she's not even making $1 million. We got people in this room who are making more than she is. And again, I work very hard. Okay. So I deserve my pay. Don't get me wrong. But we all know that why people play basketball and go into football is to become millionaires. And, her job is just not showing that that's what she's worth. And you got endorsements that are saying, hey, I'm willing to pay you X amount, Nike, $20 million. But her pay, they're saying, like, I don't see the value. That's how I feel about it. Other people are seeing your value, but your job actually that you can go out there and get hurt for everybody's viewing pleasure, you're not getting that money. So it's just disturbing to me. I mean, she sold out games, higher ratings, like I said, than most. But what are we saying to her? So, yeah, I call foul on this one.
Yeah, and we all know, the NBA is going to say, well, justification is, well, the WNBA doesn't draw as much as the NBA. We know they're going to say that, but 76,000. I make more than that, damn near close to it at least. And then here's the bad part about that is, ain't nobody watching me sell tools. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no viewership for that. People watching her by the droves and see that. Like, we all know it's going to be some kind of gender gap. But I was even surprised when it said 76,000. I had to read that 3 or 4 times. Like, I thought like maybe 750,000. 76,000? That's crazy.
76,000.
It's nuts. So just to get that out the way, man. We all and people will say that, the men's game it's been around longer, it's way more popular, it's got the clientele. We all know that. But damn, they couldn't throw $1 million NBA just so it looks better. 1 million. That get over the hump. You know what I'm saying?
That's a great question, man. I mean, did they? I know the NBA is concerned about public perception. They players get in trouble for certain shit. They just banned somebody from the NBA, dude from the Raptors, for gambling. They care about public perception. Why would they give her that contract? Like you said, throw $1 million.
Mm-hmm. Give her $1 million, and then just like Draymond Green gets fined more than she's making. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, what are you talking about, man? Like,
bro.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The Steph Curry one was Steph Curry makes more per game than she will make in 4 years. 1 game to 4 years.
That's crazy.
So we are past the gap. This is
what I was
it's insulting.
To add to that, Lisa Leslie
I have her too.
said And go ahead, tell them what, because I don't have to quote exactly. I know you do.
Lisa Leslie quoted, one player makes $12 million on an NBA team that can cover the whole, so everybody on the WNBA's team.
The whole
team, the whole league. Everybody.
For a year.
For the whole
If a player
year.
makes $12 million in 1 year, which we have several of those,
right?
They can cover the whole WNBA salary they could pay them.
I'm saying for real. Like LeBron could just, that's my league. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
For real.
Yeah, man. That's whack, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was one of the big advocates. If you're talking to me, I would say, hey, you know, well, until women start having a draw and baking it up, you know, bringing the numbers in, then it's going to be like that. But man, this is crazy, man.
Yeah,
like, this is, you know, you know, man, the NBA, you looking bad, man. Like, you know,
it's a bad look.
You know, I know y'all didn't look it up, but what do the G League players make?
That's a great question.
Oh, I didn't look up G League, but I'm sure it has to be.
Anybody out there, Tina? Can you check that out? See what the average G League player makes?
Yeah, or even like the San Antonio Missions. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do these minor league players make? I mean, that's like minor league pay.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're a whole professional deal, and we don't even want to start talking about Europe and stuff like that. We know people get paid when they go.
I think when you bring up G League, that's a very good comparison to the WNBA, because I'm gonna jump into the next topic, because a lot of people talk about the financials and they talk about viewership, like there's not enough people viewing. And I would say the WNBA gets more viewers than the G League games do. I would say the WNBA has better attendance than the G League games do. So you brought it up a second ago, Ace. Like, we know the NBA makes a lot more money than WNBA, and that's really justification for a lot of people. So how do those financials play a part in the salary disparity that we're talking about?
Well, I mean, of course, you know, you look at the top player in the NBA or the top paid player in the NBA and the top paid player in the WNBA. We don't even expect them to make the same amount of money. I mean, the NBA's been around for a while. And then if you're looking at how the NBA got started, the WNBA is starting to fall into that same realm. NBA, when it first started off, it was played at night, telecast. You know, you couldn't even look at a live game. And then, you know, Magic and Bird came and Michael Jordan, and the rest is history, where if you're kind of looking at the WNBA, they're falling into the same category. So financially, we understand the NBA has been around longer. It's established. Of course, they're going to make more money. But the WNBA is starting to come that way. And also the understanding that most WNBA teams are owned by NBA teams anyway. Like, so I'm not understanding, and I know you gave us the numbers in the meeting, but like with the numbers that these NBA teams are making, why are they paying them so low if they're part of the NBA anyway? That don't even make sense. Like, it ain't like the WNBA is standing completely on their own. You know, most of the teams are tied to another NBA. There's a few that aren't, but most of them are. But they still kind of fall under the league. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, it's confusing. We the common sense, we know why the financials are how they are, but to be so low, I don't have an answer for that. Why that is?
Yeah.
Exactly. The prevailing argument has always been like, okay, we're looking at the skill set. So the skill set for the women and the men aren't the same. But we've already proven that that's not necessarily true. That's false. That's a moot point. Also, the experience level. Again, it's a moot point. They still all pretty much have the same experience time. And then the time commitment. So those are like the three varying why they say, like, as far as in any industry, why women are paid less. But you don't see that with the WNBA and the NBA. So no one's really answering that question as well. They're all doing the same work. Okay, minus the rim, I guess, you know, the 10 feet versus 9 feet. But everything else is on the same playing field. And again, our viewership is up. I think with time, we're going to see a change. I do think we need to give it some time. But I just think the disparity is so large. That is my question. You know, when you think of gap, a gap is a small amount, you know, something you can probably reach to over time. This is not a gap. We got somebody who's not making $1 million. Somebody's making 55 million, you know? So that's my question, is why is the disparity so large? That is really the true question.
So many people argue that the disparity is large, and because of the fact that the revenue generation is so, there's a gap there. Like the NBA makes like billions of dollars.
And we make millions, right?
And like the WNBA is nowhere near that amount. I don't even remember what the numbers were, but I think that's how they justify, if you're generating this revenue, you deserve this money for what you're generating. Even if the teams are owned, like I'm pretty sure Red McCombs owned the Spurs and
the Silver Stars.
The Silver Stars when they were here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Red McCombs ain't going to pay these players like the WNBA as much, because guess what? They're not generating as much money as the Spurs are. So that would be their justification from a revenue generation perspective. Jersey sales, the TV contracts. Now, I think you have a good point when you say like TV ratings, because those just changed immensely.
Correct. Which
recently.
that's the question, I think.
But the contract that's in place now is based on like what what their revenue they were generating and what viewership was before that contract was signed. I think that the WNBA, if this trend continues, might have a leg to stand on in the future. So that's what I see when I think about the financials playing a part in it.
Yeah, and even if you talk about skill, well, we talked about this a little bit last show. There was a time that, because how the game was being played, you could really say that because the male's game was a little more physical, was a little more above the rim. But now it's more basketball skills, dribbling, passing, and definitely shooting. You know what I'm saying? So that's out the window now. And we've been doing these all-star games, little battle of the sexes, if you want to say, and they're right there with the males. You know what I'm saying? And competing with some of the top males in the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a good excuse on that, and that's good business sense. You're right. If they're not drawing as much money in, they should be getting paid. But God, you can't get them to 100,000, 200,000.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to be funny or take anything away, but you got dudes that are just blue collar workers, plumbers, carpenters. I mean, guys that really skilled workers. I guess skilled workers be the best things. That are making more than these girls, and it's entertainment, and that's the whole deal. Like I understand that there's going to be a disparity, but they're still entertaining us.
Yep.
It's not like nobody watches the WNBA. Like I ain't gonna sit up and act like I sat down and looked at a whole bunch of WNBA games. That but there's enough people that are looking at them that they've been in business for 20 plus years as a league.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So bump that. That's y'all just being cheap. That ain't got nothing to do with it. That ain't got nothing to do with what's happening. Like you can get these girls to like it, $100,000. Like please, you paying other people millions.
Exactly.
And, so I mean, go ahead.
Just saying that I don't remember the exact numbers, but NBA was $1 billion, but the WNBA was about 10 million. That's still a lot of money.
Yeah,
there's still a lot of zeros that we could definitely. They got the revenue to.
And they got less teams.
Right. And we're talking about a couple of players. I'm not saying everybody deserves maybe millions of dollars. I recognize, just like in the NBA, there's different variations of pay for them, but we do need to look at raising their pay.
Yeah. So, Wanda, we talked a little bit about like TV contracts and things like that. Now, we know historically the WNBA is not there yet, but Caitlin Clark has data that backs up like a lot of attention to her game. So would it have made sense for the WNBA to use like her TV ratings and attendance at her games to help structure her contract?
I would definitely say yes. I don't know what the contracts look and how they're structured, but definitely with the WNBA draft, she a record of 2.45 million viewers. Her viewership peaked at 3.09 million. It's called the Caitlin Clark experience. Again, people are watching her more than they're watching baseball. It used to be the sport, and also NBA. And that was just the draft. She didn't even play a game. Okay. So she's showing that, hey, I can draw attention. I can bring the revenue. In the basketball championship in the two states with just two states, which was Iowa and was it South Carolina? Am I right? Okay. She drew nearly 19 million. So two states watched her. The viewership was just 19 million between those two states. Now, how many more states we got? We got 48, So just looking at that and looking at her numbers, it shows that she is drawing attention. She's going to bring money. And Nike sees that. Y'all better follow Nike with their 20 million. She didn't even have a shoe yet. And they're offering her $20 million. Nothing has sold. So it just tells you where they're at. And we all know what Nike's worth. Okay, so know your worth.
You better get that stock like Mike did.
Right, I think I need to get some stock too.
But anyway, you know, let's be real. Right now, we walked on the streets, right? Talked to the average person and just said, who were the top players in the men's NCAA basketball game? I can't name one of them. One big white guy for Purdue. That's all I know. I don't even know his name.
I don't know his name.
You know what I'm saying?
Edie.
Yeah. But you know, you a sports junkie, so you know what I'm saying. We know sports junkies.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. But
You know,
Caitlin Clark is a household name now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know what she sold in jerseys, but we know her Indiana Fever jersey just went through the roof.
Yep.
Like straight up.
Right.
So like there's justification to pay her. I don't understand where the NBA is with the. I wouldn't have let that get out, is what I'm saying with them. Like I would have said, hey, you know, this is what it usually is, but we're changing that up now, basically. Right. And I think, and I don't know if they're gonna ride this contract out or what they're gonna do, but they're gonna have to make a change just to save face. It's just crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like it, it ain't even it shouldn't be that obvious, right. that you're paying women less in entertainment. That's like we were looking at the WWE and they got wrestlers and we just knew that they paid women lower than they paid the men.
Right.
It's all entertainment. So we would assume that there's some kind of structure there that there. I mean, and I'm not looking at it. I'm just using them just for example. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if you looked at it, it just ain't that big of a gap from a female wrestler to a male wrestler, right. These days because they're in entertainment. But it's the same thing here. It's entertainment. Now, and we know we can say, okay, like you said, WNBA doesn't draw as much, but let's throw that out the water. We've already proved that they got the draw now.
Definitely.
Like, and NBA knows the forecast, all businesses forecast what's coming down the line. Yep. They can look at Caitlin Clark when she was pulling these numbers saying, oh, wow, when she gets into the WNBA,
it's gonna be
we're going to make money. So them sitting up there and just letting this ride out is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if they knew about the backlash, though. That's what I was thinking too. Like maybe they didn't, but maybe they didn't know. They didn't think people would care.
They know. They know. Well, I mean,
look how they treat women.
Look how they treat us. I mean, and they know what the outcome will be when you look at what happened at UT. They took away all them DEI jobs, and now what are they doing? They're out there protesting, and all of the students are out there they know what's gonna come. They don't care at this point.
It's sad.
And I mean, they're a business. Anybody been working in business knows that business is forecast.
Right.
So they looked and seen what she was pulling in the NCAA. They looked and saw the ratings of the NCAA championship. They look at the ratings at the draft. They know her first game, wherever she's playing next year, is going to be big.
Yes.
So, especially if they got her and Chicago Sun, which Indiana and Chicago ain't far from each other. So they've already built a rivalry there, which also means like 9 times out of 10, that could have been just set up. Like, let's make sure that
they play.
They get them and they get there together so we can build that local rivalry right there. They know they about to make money hand over fist off of this.
Oh yeah, and let me add to that, man, real quick. You brought up a great point about like her first game. It's gonna be monumental. Everybody's gonna be watching, tuned into that. But guess what? Lisa Leslie once again on that LeBron James. I think it was the barbershop thing that he does. She was on there, and LeBron James brought up. He's talking to her, and he's like, you know what? The first game of the WNBA season, when whatever year it was a Thursday. And guess what that Thursday was? The first night of Thursday night football, the opening night in the NFL.
Yeah.
How you gonna open up and compete against the NFL first game of the season on Thursday night football when it's usually a rematch of a big team from the playoffs?
Yeah.
You ain't. You're not. But I bet you her game, if they smart, they is not gonna put that on Thursday night against the first NFL game of the year.
That's gonna be a Sunday.
It's gonna be a Saturday.
Yeah,
where there ain't no football games on. At a time when there ain't no games to compete with it, and it's gonna blow up. Watch.
Yeah, and they already kind of play in an off season where there ain't really no big sports other than baseball. And baseball, to his point, I looked at my first baseball game yesterday. Baseball so long, you don't jump into baseball in the beginning, so you can't really add a April baseball game to like an October playoff baseball game. And if Chicago and Indiana end up playing in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? They start going head to head there. That's really going to be big.
Yeah.
Case in point, the NBA knows exactly what's going on, man, and they should have figured out a better way to pay these girls and make it even look. They could have went on and said, "Hey, man, it's usually 76,000, blah blah blah." But in this case, we're gonna just bump up to a cool million. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, and then or 76,000. We're obligated to do this because of the players' agreement or some whatever the hell they got. But we're gonna renegotiate it and work this thing out because this is gonna be crazy.
I think the only thing we have to keep in mind with this contract is we don't know what the collective bargaining agreement is that they have for rookies in the WNBA, just like for the NBA. Unless you like one of the top whatever draft picks, there's like a league minimum and there's like a certain amount that you can get on your pay and then salary caps. We don't understand all of that, so we'll keep that in mind. Another thing I want to keep people in mind is that there is a like button. Okay, so keep that in mind. Make sure that you click it, like it, love it, hug it, share this content on all of your social media platforms, and subscribe to Left-Wing Kingz.
And we want equity when you push that button,
That's
men
right.
and women.
That's right.
Everybody,
everybody press it, damn it. So this is a big conversation we was having, man. And I know Tina, I know we had 20 minutes already, but I think this is a good topic. We need to keep rolling with it.
A lot of people commented on it.
Yeah, man. So Ace, we know that the NBA makes more money than the WNBA. How the hell do they justify paying mascots and referees who no one pays to see more than they're going to be paying Caitlyn, who everyone's going to be paying to see?
Man, I hate it. I hated that we found this information out, man. This is horrible. Only thing we didn't look up and see how much the concession stand man that only been worse. Like, how much is the nigga that serving me popcorn making? Because I think he's making more than her. Matter of fact, I know a guy. I'm gonna ask him how much he make just to find that out. Yeah, the Coyote shouldn't be making more than Caitlin Clark, man. You know, or the stupid bear guy in the Denver Nuggets suit. No,
the lion.
Rocky the Mountain Lion makes $625.
Yeah,
$625,000 a year.
The dude they shooting out the cannon and all that shit. Like, I mean, no, get me wrong. They entertaining it just like everybody else. I be waving my hand for the shirt just like everybody else. They shooting that shirt gun. You know what I'm saying? They never get it to me, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but nonetheless, that's crazy. Okay, referees got a tough job. I'm not saying the referee. I'm not trying to de-justify, and even the mascots. I'm not trying to de-justify what they do. I think it's important for what they do. But yeah, maybe your players should make more than them. Then maybe the reason we come into the game they should make a little bit more.
We're not coming to the game to see the gorilla.
Yeah,
we're not coming to see the Rocky the Mountain Lion. We're not coming to see the Coyote. That's a side thing to the game. Like, you might get a free T-shirt or something, but that's not why we there.
I ain't coming to see the Coyote bust a backspin in the middle of the flow, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, it's just we found that out, man. That was heartbreaking, man. You know what I'm saying? That the Coyote, what's he making? 600,000?
I don't know what the Coyote make. I know that Rocky the Mountain Lion makes 625,000.
Rocky the Mountain Lion.
She got the numbers.
Rocky the Mountain Lion. That's the Denver Nuggets mascot. Makes $625,000 a year.
Like, what it take to be a mascot for real?
And
you go to mascot school or some shit like that. They got
a mascot school.
They have a mascot school.
Okay.
And you can't say who you are. Secret.
I got a friend of mine. Her son, and I ain't gonna say no names because you got to keep them secret. But he was like I guess he was the mascot at college. So is that like the same thing? You get drafted as a mascot. Like, you're the mascot at college, and you walk into the mascot.
Usually, my understanding is that it's somebody who's like a cheerleader or something in college.
They typically are cheerleaders.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. Like, I can't just go down to San Antonio and say, "Look, man, I don't know who's doing the Coyote right now, but let me put an application in."
Nah,
I'm trying to make. Cause I can't say I can do that because I'm a fat fuck now. But other than that, the Coyote, it's a whole bunch of physical stuff the Coyote go to do. I get in that damn suit and goddamn the first 5 minutes, I'm taking the head off and shit. Dude, it's hot in here, fool.
They do trampoline and
why the mascot got his head off and shit? He's sweating. He's so sweaty up under there.
Oh, shit. What you got?
Nothing. I'm laughing.
Glasses fall all in the uniform. I be digging in the uniform. What the hell is wrong with the damn Coyote over there? He moving around.
No,
It'd be bad, man. That'd be horrible.
I'm just surprised again. When we looked at the numbers, we were I was like, wait, what does that say? Not 62,000. It's 625,000.
And they couldn't get these girls to six
Right.
figures. But give them 6 figures at least. Like, that's just a bad look.
Very. There's no words.
Yeah, the
There's no
referees,
words.
man. I mean, like you said, the referees got a hard job. Coyote got a hard job. I don't do their job, and I know the referees go through a lot of training and things like that, and all of that shit. But like you said, referees are part of the game. They help move the game along. But I ain't there to watch no referee. Now I don't know. I can't justify or de-justify their salaries. But when I looked up and I saw that the referees make $250,000 at the bottom end, and the high end they make $550,000 a year.
Yeah.
$550,000 a year, like
that's $500,000, fool.
Yeah, that's like more than like 5 times what she gonna be making.
But I
her
think,
first year.
But I think we see refs, right? We know there's a class of ref. We know it's some refs that they might, coach. They might ref high school. Then they may ref like college.
Yeah.
Then they may, you see them kind of progress, move up the ladder. Then you'll see, all right, this dude's like a rookie ref. Then you see the dudes that been there forever. So that's kind of, what I'm saying. So we kind of see that. I know we making jokes with the mascot, you know what I'm saying? Because but you can kind of see the progressions of the ref. But even with that being said,
they still shouldn't get more than
players progress too.
Think about this. Think about this. What referee makes more than any player in the NBA?
None.
0.
None.
That's my point.
Yeah.
They don't matter about the progression. They make no player makes $550,000 a year. No player. They make more than that. I mean, my understanding is a league minimum, and I think it's more than 5. I think it's like $1 million something.
Yeah. I think they're a cool $1 million.
Yeah. So no referee
sit on the bench.
Not one, because they shouldn't. They shouldn't get more than a player.
Yeah. And you sitting there like in WNBA, the ref arguing with the WNBA. He just don't respect her at all. Like, fool, $70,000. I ain't got time for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Sit your broke ass down. Like, hey, you work at Whataburger after this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, a lot of them do have.
Yeah, they got second jobs.
A lot of them have second jobs.
Yeah. I would need a second job if I didn't. Like, I make double of what she making like her first year, more than that. I'm like, there's no way. Like, it's crazy. So, like, Wanda, what's the gender pay gap in America, and how can we work to get it decreased?
Well, it was 16%, and now it says it's gone down a little bit to 14.3%. But disparity that if we did the math with the WNBA, obviously that's a larger percentage. I can't do the math in there, but you got 55 million to 76,000. That's a bigger percentage there. And the way to change it is enforcing equal pay laws, like holding these companies accountable. To me, it's having these conversations. Letting the NBA and the WNBA know, like, this is not okay. It's not okay with us for women to be paid such a low wage. So pretty much, I think we had to have laws in place. Obviously, we don't know how to treat our women. We could see that in government practices right now. So let's do some laws. Let's do some equal pay laws. Let's make it legitimate to where these things cannot happen. And we're in 2024. You guys acting like these women are back in 1920, begging for jobs. No, we're not there.
Was even working,
right. You know what I mean? I was like, we're in 2024. And the disparity, it's not even a gap. Like I said, I can't even think of a verb to explain what I want to say. It's not a gap. It's a very, very large disparity. And to me, the only way to change that is just making it legal. The laws.
Yeah, and I think it points back to the importance of voting and being part of what you're doing. This is important to you, and it hits home for you.
Vote.
You got to vote, and you got to start talking towards that. I think the last president I even heard talking about pay equity was Obama.
Yeah.
No, actually, Biden has said quite a few things.
Has he?
Okay. Yeah, Biden,
I think he said it like after this happened. He was mad after her contract came out.
Yeah.
Biden boo was angry.
He said you could be the best woman and still not be paid your fair share. Yeah. Why is that happening? So he was tweeting that because people see it. Like, you can say whatever you want. These are things that are happening that shouldn't be happening. We know of a lot of things that are happening in the 2024s and 2025s coming up that shouldn't be, but that really bothered him. And what are we doing about it? What are we speaking to it?
Well, it's funny. Caitlin Clark may, low key turn around to be the advocate for this, for equal pay. Without her, not her even trying to, push it or anything. Just simple fact that we all know how good she is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but with her now in the limelight and looking like, we all know, like, wow, y'all ain't gonna pay her $80,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
airline stewardess make more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, and you know what I think, man? she's being very gracious because I ain't heard her get out there and complain and say a damn thing about it. But
That's
she
20
knows
million. That 20
she's
million.
smart though. But she's smart because she knows she will let everybody else speak for her in this case and let others speak for her because she can't go out there and complain because there are people who make less than her.
Yeah.
There are people who ain't making no 300.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poor people out there who ain't making that kind of money who would love to have that salary. So let's not get it twisted. But she's very smart and like Tina said, very humble and just saying, you know what? I'm not even gonna comment on it. I'm gonna let everybody else speak for that and speak for me, and I'm gonna get this Nike money. And I'm gonna get this other money, and I'm gonna do all these other things.
All these other endorsements.
Exactly.
Yeah, we ain't talking about like the person who's on the bottom of the bench, what they making.
Right.
Like,
think about it.
Yeah, like 80,000 what she's making, and she's in line.
Think about it.
Like
put that in the perspective.
45,000 assistant manager pay. Like,
but I don't know. Like I said, maybe it has something to do with the rookie contract. But we got some comments real quick I want to get to before we jump into the next topic. So we got Steve on the World of YouTube. What's up, Steve? He was our guest last week. He said maybe what they could do is set up some revenue-based contracts so they make money according to ticket sales and viewership. That would be good.
Idea.
Makes sense.
Well, she'd be surpassed everybody because she done that.
Yep. And then Steve also said the kids would be asking mommy, why is the coyote sitting around on the sideline smoking cigars? You sure would if you was in that costume, mate.
And drinking Jamaican rum punches. What's wrong with the coyote?
Oh, man. And then Tina let us know the NBA league minimum last year was 1.017 million. So basically $1 million was the league minimum. And I don't know if she got on here about the G League. The standard G League salary last year was $40,500.
Wow.
So I mean,
minimum
ain't that far from what she making.
Yeah.
You know
and like I said, we don't know how much a person on the bench is making. You know what I'm saying they might be right there with the G League.
Exactly.
She's on the high end.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I'm assuming she's on the high end. She's a rookie. I don't know. Like I said, I wish I understood more about what the rookie restraints on their contract was because I know they are like a rookie can't get what like in the NBA can't get a Steph Curry contract or whatever. There's rules around that.
Okay, but Wemby still got 55
because he was the number one pick. There's
she
difference.
Was the number one pick.
No, but I'm not talking about her versus him. I'm just talking about from a point that there are rookie restraints on the WNBA, on the NBA. One that they have for the NBA is that rookies can only make a certain amount unless they're in the top whatever picks. They probably had the same thing for her. She can get a certain amount of money if she's in the top whatever picks. But I don't know, like maybe there's other WNBA players who make more because his point was she's probably the most highest paid player. I said, I don't know that.
Got you. The highest player.
There might be other people who've been in the league longer that get more than her.
I'm just saying comparing Wemby to her. He was the number one pick. She was the number one pick.
Totally valid.
As I'm saying. Yeah,
totally valid there.
Yeah.
And Wemby wipe his nose with what she made.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's like
he pocketed 12.1 million.
Draymond Green, you know why he don't give a damn about fines?
Yeah.
Because he can pay them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He can pay them fines. He got all that money. And then, fuck that fine. I'm gonna kick somebody in the balls tomorrow. You know? He don't care. You know, and speaking of
Caitlin Clark, I got Caitlin Clark right here. Bam.
Yeah, you know, here you go. You know, speaking of fines, your boy Trump, he acted crazy in court.
Shit, he don't care about fines either.
He don't care. He sure don't. So the jury selection for former President Donald Trump hush money trial is underway. They just completed it. And like everything else concerning our 45th president, it's a damn hot mess. Okay. We've seen Trump's public outcry, the potential violation of his gag order, and the removal of jurors. It's all kind of craziness going on. So, Yolanda, please get our viewers up to speed on what this hush money trial is about.
Okay, so let's start it off. Trump has been charged with 34 counts, right, of fraud related to hush money that was paid to porn star Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. Now, I do want to point out that he's denying or arguing all these allegations. He says they're false. Okay, so he's pleaded not guilty. Ms. Daniel alleges that she had sex with Trump in 2006, something, again, he denies, and that she was paid money to stay quiet about it leading up to the 2016 election. So we all know Trump won that election due to that. So the trial centers on a reimbursement that Mr. Trump made to his former personal lawyer, Mr. Cohen, who's known as the Fixer. Cohen claims that he was directed to pay Stormy Daniels to be quiet, of course, because due to the election. So he paid her $130,000 in exchange for her silence. Prosecutors described this as an attempt to unlawfully influence the 2016 election. I do want to point out that hush money payments are not illegal. I didn't know that, but they're not illegal.
No.
But the point is that they're alleging that Trump committed a crime by improperly recording that payment that he was reimbursed as Cohen's legal fees expenses. So that's where the criminality comes in. So it's not really the hush money is a which he's not saying he didn't.
Not a crime.
It's not a crime, but
Falsifying
how he
your records.
falsifying the
Whole bunch of people in
records
jail for
of
hush
what
money.
the money was coming from. So that gives you a stem as far as what this actually is about.
Yeah, that's good because I have a friend of mine. We're having that conversation, and he was like, "Well, she took the money." So I said, "But that's not what he's in trial for.
No,
Not for paying her."
Right.
I said he's on trial because he falsified business records.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what he did influenced the election. That's what they're saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So pretty much it's kind of like cheating. Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they're not understanding when it comes to that. So, but yeah, this is the presidency we're talking about. Like, and that's what kind of baffles me when we start talking about, you know, Trump and America. And I'm always going to say this: take what Trump's doing and put it on Obama in 2008. And how do you feel about it? And nobody who supports Trump can answer that. If this was Hillary, if that was Biden today, put it on him.
Yeah.
And that's what I say. I said, it's not even the fact that, like, you know, it's the fact that we even having this conversation when it comes to the president of the United States. Like this is the best we got. This is how we show the world who we are, by a cat who paid a porn star hush money and then hid it and hid it, you know, in his records. You know, that's just a lot of dishonesty that, you know, why would you support that? And that's the biggest question I have. I said, if he's doing this, imagine the stuff that he's doing that we don't even see. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff we catching him in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just brushing it to the side. I said, it's just a bad look for us as a nation on how he looks and what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, get an understanding what the hush money is and the trial is, and then and it's not because he paid her money and he was messing with a porn star. Unfortunately, yeah, that isn't illegal. But what he did to cover it up is pretty much so.
It's funny, man. I giggle every time I think about this, man. I got people out there who try to justify the fact that he did it by saying, like, well, he had to hide it. He didn't want his wife to find out. I'm like, is that your, like, is that what you want to go to court on, nigga? Is that what you want to court on? You going to court on that? That's why, huh? Because he didn't want to get a divorce. Like, his wife ignore him now. She don't even pay attention to his ass. She don't care about this presidency. I mean, she don't care about him probably. She probably stick around just because he got money. I don't know.
That's a question.
But that's not a reason, man, to, like, that's not a defense. You know what I'm saying? Well, he didn't want his wife to find out, so he had to falsify the records. No, he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we gave Clinton hell when he got caught with Monica Lewinsky. Gave John F. Kennedy hell when we found out about Marilyn Monroe.
Yep.
And kind of found it. I mean, and those are just dudes, you know, and you know, and tried to hold him to the moral ground with it. Hell, he tried to impeach Clinton over it. But this dude, before he even got into the White House, he was on it. You know what I'm saying? We all know. We seen the pictures with Epstein, hush money, grab people by the pussy. Like this
his
dude,
daughter sitting on his lap, and they talk about Biden touching kids.
Like this dude came in. It's just, you know, I just don't get it. So now we're picking the jurors. My man straight getting hit with, you know, contempt of court because he's got a gag order. Not contempt of court, but he's got a gag order. He's in violation of that. Putting people's lives in danger because he know he's got these idiots out there that follow him. And I'm not saying everybody's an idiot, but he's got a faction of people who follow him that actually call people up and threaten them and make their life miserable for whatever reason. And he knows when he says people's names and puts hints out and demonizes them, he puts people's lives at risk and gets them threatened and all that stuff. So that just comes down to class and character. And this case is just showing you the class and character of who the guy is. That we even having a conversation about a guy who paid a porn star and then tried to cover it up because he wanted to run for president.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the big thing is I can't get when people just kind of get behind him and try to support him. And fuck that situation where y'all talking about we just need a change. Well, we don't need that fucking change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Agreed. Yeah. Politics in America got its issues. But goddamn, you know, this is the answer?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But it's a crazy situation, man, because dude was a president. Everybody knows who the president is. If nothing else, everybody knows who Obama was, Bush. Everybody knows who the president is. Now, with a figure like as polarizing as Trump and his popularity that he has, and just the fact that everybody knows he's famous, right? Is it possible for these jurors to be impartial?
50% of them from day one walked out because they couldn't be impartial, and they admitted that. I think the best question is, I think that everybody, because Trump is so polarizing, you feel one way or the other for him. I think the most honest question is, can you view the evidence and can you just make a decision on the evidence? I mean, because, let's say, for instance, I could go into the trial and I don't really like Trump. But I think that if I can see the evidence and look at the evidence, I can make a decision based on the evidence. And I'm not gonna go in there and just say, hey, I don't like Trump, so I'm, even though I might not agree with everything that he does, but I should be able to go into. And I think some of these jurors just have to ask themselves that: can I go in here, look at the evidence, and make an honest answer whether I like him or not? Because I think he's so polarizing. He's one way or the other. I don't think it's somebody like, hey, he's all right. I don't think it's he's all right person on Trump out there. I think you either like him or you don't like him. That's basically where he is. That's how polarized he is.
Definitely agree. You can have a disdain for somebody, which I do for this man, and still respect some of the things. Like I said, he gave money to HBCU, so I shouted that out. Like when he does good things, yes. I think you can separate yourself, like you said, looking at evidence and saying, regardless of the individual, is this right or wrong? I'm sure a lot of us work with people we can't stand. You don't like them. It's okay. They are not in your personal space, but you respect them and what they do in their work. I think that is possible. It depends on the individual, but a lot of us do this literally every day of our lives. You work amongst people you cannot stand, but you respect them. Okay. It's the same situation. You just got to separate that. Is it clearly, is it wrong? Is it right? That's why I think people get it all clouded when it comes to him, but it's wrong or it's right. It's factual or it's non-factual. It's credible or it's not credible. I mean, you just put them in the categories that they go and then make your answer. So I do think you can be impartial to him. We all have biases against people, but listening to information, I think you can draw that line and really have a deciding factor with the judge giving you explicit directions on how you're going to answer the question or how you find out if somebody's guilty or not. They're going to provide that information for them. Follow the rules.
I think it's really eye-opening on this whole case. The thing that opened my eyes to is that when we talk about, justice, and we talk about how, innocent until proven guilty, it doesn't seem like people really believe that as far as like the people who work in the justice system. Because if, to your point, if I know that I am innocent and I have proof to prove that I am innocent, then I'm going to rely on that proof and hope that everyone who's looking at this proof does not have an ulterior motive and say, I don't like him, so I'm just going to put him in jail. I don't care what the proof says, right? That is just, if that's why, like, why are they trying to get a change of venue? They're going through that right now.
Yeah.
Because you think that all of these people in New York just hate him so much that regardless of, you say he's innocent, he says he's innocent. So prove it. If you have proof, don't you believe in the justice system? Wouldn't they vote for him to be found not guilty if you have proof? Or you believe more that people hate him so much that they're just going to find him guilty regardless of what proof you put in front of him. And that's what it's opened my eyes to, that they're trying to delay the trial. They're trying to change the venue. They're trying to say the judge is this and that. All these excuses you're trying to do to stop the trial from happening, to push it back to the election date and all of that. If you're really innocent, get out there and prove it. Then you're good to go.
Yeah.
You don't got to worry about it ever again because you were found innocent in court. Just like OJ, found innocent, you never got to worry about murder again, nigga. You did it.
Yeah.
Okay? Do that. But I think that this has opened my eyes to the fact that even the people in the justice system don't believe in the fucking justice system.
Yeah.
Well, is the justice system broken? That's what I'm saying. It's like, do y'all know something we don't know? That's what the questioning is. It's like you're going through all this, like you said, fight, tooth and nail. Don't like the jurors. Don't like the judge. You know, it's like, okay, so when Black people were saying that maybe there's something going on with the justice system, everyone's like, nope, the justice system is fair and equitable, and we look at evidence. But now that you're part of the system, all right, or going through the process, you're afraid. Why? Like I said, if I'm innocent, I'm going, you know, but either that, there's one or two things. Either you're not innocent or you don't trust the system.
Well, let's be real, man. There's a lot of people that are locked up. I'm saying people. I'm not even going to put this on Black people. There's a lot of people locked up in the justice system wrongly. You know what I'm saying? Because things didn't go their way. All this is proven, and all Trump is proven at the end of the day, when we look back at this in history, is that the wealthy have the upper hand when it comes to the justice system. They get the privilege of delaying. They get the privilege of going on and
filing a million motions,
and saying things and winning in the court of public opinion and influencing juries and stuff like that. Maybe paying people, maybe paying judges, all that stuff. All is proven is that the American justice system, if you're wealthy, you get advantages. If Trump didn't have a dime, one, we wouldn't be hearing about it. And two, he'd be in somebody's jail right now. He's got 34 counts in this one case. We're not talking about all his cases. This one case. Now, you know, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure if you found 34 things, you got a lot of damn evidence that's showing that I'm guilty. That's one thing. The second thing, the lawyer he hired, Michael Cohen, went to prison for this already. So how did he break the law and you didn't break the law? Trump said, oh, end of the day, I was paying a lawyer and the lawyer did what I need. Well, we all know how lawyers work. You know, lawyers just don't all of a sudden, hey, let me just do something on my own. More than likely, they're directed to, hey, I need you to do this for my case. Can you do this, that, and the other? Now, this is hush money. We all know he paid Stormy Daniels. We all know why he paid Stormy Daniels, right? And we all know he ran for president. It ain't rocket science. We know that he did whatever he's talking about. I used to always say, you know, you can question any other of the cases that you want, but this hush money case, look at Donald Trump. We know he did this shit. We know by evidence. We know everything he's done in the past. We know this one case, out of all of them, he's guilty of this shit. He paid her that money. He had sex with her, and he wanted to hide it when he ran for president. Everybody knows that. Now we're playing the game of him delaying and doing all this for what? Something we already know? They have 34 counts of it. You know what I'm saying? The other guy went to prison already. What are we doing? Why is it taking so long on some shit we know he did? Somebody else went to prison for it already. And you got 34 things to say he did it. You know what I'm saying? So all it's doing is showing us how much bullshit that the justice system's up to. When you got money, you can still play golf in Mar-a-Lago and go to dinners and travel around the world and talk shit and walk free. And this dude's down there that just maybe shoplifted or stole something at Target.
And he going to jail.
And they can't afford bail, so they sitting in jail right now waiting for a damn court case. You know what I'm saying? But they're serving time though.
Right. And I will say this, prosecutors, if you guys know anything about law, they don't prosecute cases that they don't think they can win. Okay. They will plead out before they do that. They ain't trying to go to court, okay, because we all know what the time and the cost and everything associated with it. So for a prosecutor to be prosecuting, do know they got sufficient information. They got sufficient evidence, and they believe they can win. That's why they're in court.
And usually there's a grand jury that has to determine if it's even worth
if
doing.
it's worthy.
If we even do it,
Well, Trump definitely got a lot of charges. He got a lot of cases against him. There's more cases after this one that's gonna happen. So, Walanda, will jury selection be a problem like this, like in every case that he has? And if so, is there anything that they can do to fix it, simplify the process?
I said yes, but they have to provide clear guidelines for eligibility. You know, again, minimizing the unnecessary delays that go with it. He's a prominent figure. Like you said, unless you find people who just don't vote. That was another thing I was thinking. Maybe you just get a juror, you know, you're not interested in voting at all, but he's a prominent figure on there. So you just got to be real specific on the criteria that you have. And you know what? This is my advice to Trump: stop doing illegal shit.
Yeah.
You
Great
know,
advice.
you wouldn't be in a situation if you weren't doing things. Like, I'm sorry, people just can't make up accusations and allegations and have all these charges, and there's a process to it. So you're doing something. But yes, I do think there's to be some fairness, but they do need to have specific criteria, eligibility requirements, and stop the delays. Get with it.
Well, they want to move the venue because Trump that's where he's done most of his work. I always said this when Trump came out. I said, I ain't seen one person out of New York support Trump, like a big prominent figure. Nobody's out there saying, hey man, let's, because usually when somebody comes out of the state or whatever, especially they running for the president, the people in that state, in that city, are usually the ones that support him. They're like, yeah, nobody doing that in New York. That's why he's trying to get the hell out of there. He already knows a lot of his real estate schemes. A lot of people he didn't pay when he was doing these real estates. A lot of that crooked shit he's been doing in the 80s and the 90s. They're all from New York and new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got people in New York that was like, when Trump was running president, they weren't supporting him. They weren't talking about they was going to vote for Trump. You know what I'm saying? So of course he wants to move the venue and get out of there because he knows most of his support comes from outside that city, outside of all cities. Most of his supporters rule anyway.
He want to come to Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Or Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing that I want to make sure we do is click the like button. Okay, you don't got to go nowhere to click it. You don't got to go to Florida, Texas, nothing. Just click.
You ain't got to change that venue.
You ain't got to change that venue. Just click it, subscribe, and share this content on all the social media platforms out there. Now, Walanda, what are some of the things that Trump is saying outside of the courtroom, and are these things violations of the judge's gag order?
Oh, definitely. So first, he's calling the trial again a witch hunt. He should just patent that phrase. Everything's a witch hunt. Everybody, Salem witch trials. I think that's the only book he ever read. He's being victimized in the proceedings and entitled to immunity, he has said. They're catching, what is they? Okay. So the quote, the one that really is getting him on the gag is, they are catching undercover liberal activists lying to the judge in order to get on the Trump jury.
Undercover liberal activists.
Undercover liberal activists lying
Why
to the judge.
Why do you have to be undercover to be a liberal? I don't get that.
Like, I don't know. And we all know these responses are political in nature.
Well, I mean, and I don't
but
think...
he has a... Okay, this is crazy. Like, he's saying all this stuff, and he contradicts so much to what he says. It's just ridiculous. He's saying that there's undercover political activists getting on the jury, tricking the judge to get on the jury, but he has a jury specialist who goes through and finds things about people to try to get them out. Like, that's how they got rid of these other two jurors, like finding out that one of them had a criminal background or something, and the other one
something on
they was going to be they were going to be identified by people and shit. Right. So he has a specialist working at this. He couldn't find them damn undercover liberal people.
Well, to be undercover is an assumption that the whole jury is going to be conservative.
Or they're all ops.
I mean, like, to be undercover is meaning that everybody else is going to be conservative because these people are undercover liberals.
Right.
Well, maybe they have some liberals who ain't undercover that's on the jury.
I forgot the fact that your political designation has nothing to do with being a juror.
Nothing. Nope, they don't ask that.
They don't ask that. I mean, so once again, are you able to get on this jury and look at the evidence and make a determination? It's basically what it is. No matter who you are. But once again, that's him playing with words and playing toward his base, who think Democrats are the devil anyway.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to lose focus. So we're going back. What are the things that he's been saying? And
awesome. Okay, so he posted a video of Cohen and the judge's wife, and basically saying Cohen's a serial perjurer. So that's his thing there. He's just all over the place.
So basically, like you said, he shouldn't even be able to say anything about Cohen or Stormy Daniels or anyone, because that is a clear violation of the gag order. The gag order says he can't talk about witnesses. The gag order says he can't talk about people on the jury. Gag order says that he can't talk about the judge or their family. He's been doing all of that shit. Like, basically, by saying jurors are undercover liberal activists, he's talking about the jury. You're not supposed to be doing that. I'm waiting to see, and I don't know if it's come out or not yet. Anybody else know?
No, it hasn't yet.
Yeah, like, he's supposed to be making a decision on finding this guy. It's like $1,000 per.
They ain't doing nothing
per violation. That's like you said. That's all. Caitlin Collins might be hurt by that, but he ain't. He don't care about $1,000 per violation. He's gonna keep doing it until they find him in contempt and put him in jail.
It's a joke, man.
It ain't nothing but a joke.
Right.
Here's the deal, man. That's the one thing that pisses me off on this whole thing with Trump. Like, like anybody else,
He'd be in jail.
you know, well, that'd be a threat to them. You know what I'm saying? Just like when they arrested him and he took the mug shot and they make T-shirts out of all this shit. They know it's gonna be a circus. Even if they were to arrest him and put him in jail, they're gonna turn it into a circus. That's why nobody does it. So all their gag orders and all that is an idle threat to him because he like knows, well, they're not gonna really be able to enforce this. So, and that's the problem with the elite rich people on the fact that, you know, well, they're not gonna force it. I can find a way out of it. I can buy my way out of it or whatever. And that's all Trump's playing right here is that, yeah, you're going to put me on a gag order, but I'm still going to say what I want to say. Yep. And it's either people not paying attention, they don't look at this and don't know, and they just catching tidbits and don't understand, or it's the blind people that just follow him no matter what he does that eats up this stuff. Exactly. Undercover liberals. Like, what are you talking? That don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying?
That means.
But it's somebody like that. It's somebody I guarantee I can go to work and I know the person I can talk to, that I can have an argument, and they're going to bring that up, undercover liberals.
Right.
And I'm like, who do you know? Either you're liberal or you're conservative. Nobody does that undercover.
And I'll tell you, most people who are liberal, they're progressive and they don't care. And they tell people that.
Yeah, just like
because progression, that's where we should be. You know what I'm saying? We should be progressing, moving to the right, moving, you know, being better people.
You ain't an undercover liberal.
No, I'm not. I'm out. Never been in the closet. I'm very out. A long time ago.
So Ace. Oh, go ahead, baby.
No, I'm just saying, no, it's crazy to me. I'm just saying about, yeah, it's just crazy that he can just say whatever.
Yeah. So Ace, what concerns do you have about the jury process, like the selection process? Like, what don't you like? What are your concerns? And how might those concerns, or how might the jury selection impact the outcome of the court case?
My biggest concern is what they call a stealth juror. And that's somebody who's going to go in line, fabricate, and they already know what their decision is going to be. Look, end of the day, he only needs one person to hang this jury. That's the scary part of all of this. He only needs to convince one person to do this. How do we know we don't have somebody who's already like, I'm going to be that person. This is what I'm going to do. And the influence that we have financially, meaning that we can pay people and we can do things. We can actually put a plan on there that all they're going to do on there, and they're going to hang this jury. And then it's just going to be bullshit, you know, when it comes to this court case. So that's one of my biggest concerns there. And realistically, can we really be impartial? I don't really think you can go in there and honestly say you're not impartial. I think he's too polarizing to the fact, like I said earlier, you hate him, you love him, just got to go in there and make a decision on the evidence and his ability to intimidate people through his followers. There's some dumbasses out there right now that are trying to find these people, are going to find them, and they're going to dedicate time to just make these people's lives miserable when they're just trying to do their civic duty, you know, and that's just, you know, to have people in the country right now that are just so influenced to the point where they have no respect for the law, respect for the process. And like you said earlier, if he's innocent, then just let everything play out. You don't have to get involved in calling people up and threatening them. One lady, she said, just because they put out what her job was, she got home and all her family and friends were asking her if she was a juror. Well, who the hell wants that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the influences when it comes to this court and dealing with him and making it hard to just, you know, honestly, once again, to prove something that we all know he did. Like, even if you like him, you know he did this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
yeah, definitely agree. We already know that 2 of the jurors out of the 7 said, never mind, I don't like this, because like you said, of exactly that, being threatened and just intimidated. And for him to be allowed to do that, that's what's so frustrating. So I think the judge definitely needs to go ahead and start, you know, fine and put him in whatever you have to do, because we know this is a legal process that he has to do. And again, if you didn't want to be here, you shouldn't have done wrong. And then we wouldn't be even having this conversation at all on there. So it's going to be different. Impartiality, it's hard. We all, like you said, either love or hate him. But I think people can look at the information and constructively being given, because you're given directions by the judge, follow the judge's directions and do what you have to do.
Yeah, they didn't sequester the
simple.
jury, right? Or they're
No,
not, because like
Not that I know.
no,
Yeah.
they just not. This is what he told them. You're not supposed to go home and tell anybody. Boy, the first person I'm going home to is tell my husband, "Hey, guess what happened to me?" I mean,
like
no
they didn't know
one.
you got to tell your job. You're going to
You
jury
gotta tell your
duty.
job, and you have to tell your job. I know
Yeah.
when I had to go to jury duty, right? I had to go down there. I had to tell my job. I got to go to jury. I didn't get picked begging, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, those are things that you have to do. So I don't know how you keep it quiet, because there's some people that you would have to tell, especially out of work for a long period of time, right?
Yeah. And the other problem I think a bigger problem you got is the media. Like
Oh, well,
they
there.
come out and they giving out these facts to these people. And like I said, there's people out
Right.
there. And like now with the internet, I don't care how
Mhm.
quiet you try to keep it to be. You say this and then people start looking and digging around and they find out who the person
Context
is.
clues,
Or
right.
you know, somebody, you know, they're down there taking pictures when people are going to jury duty and they kind of figure out who. There's a lot of ways you can figure out who people are. And once
Right.
again, there's some people dedicated just to
do that,
do whatever they can take to cover up Trump's bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they're gonna go out and threaten people and make their lives miserable, you know. So I don't know why they haven't sequestered the jury or made it to the point where we don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we got a few comments on YouTube I want to get at. We got Steve. He said, I find it comical that people would even consider that he would be innocent, considering his lawyer was found guilty. To be honest, they should have prosecuted both of them at the same time.
Mhm.
I get why they didn't, because he was a sitting president. But if the lawyer is guilty, he's definitely guilty too.
Mm-hmm.
Steve also said, definitely has proven that if power doesn't get you off, it definitely gives you a better shot of being found not guilty, even if all the evidence is stacked against you.
Right.
January 6 charges are also pretty easy because we saw everything he said on TV.
Yeah.
And January 6 charges are also pretty easy to prove because I got that already. Let me see. I guess it put that on there twice. They should have fined him so much it hurts a lot, like 8-figure fines, like for those violations. I don't know. To me, I agree.
Have a number.
They need to do something. Like if they're gonna fine, like it should be, if they fine you for contempt, it should be like aligned with your pay, like a certain percentage of your annual salary or some shit, or your monthly salary or some shit.
Yeah, let them oligarchs pay that, because that's who's paying for stuff. Now that's why Trump ain't worried about what he say, because he got people that sit there and pay it for him.
Well, somebody else who seems like he's not worried about what people are saying is Mike Johnson, because this brother might lose his damn job. Okay. House Speaker Mike Johnson's support for the Ukraine aid bill is dividing the halls of Congress and putting his job in jeopardy. He recently unveiled plans to pass foreign aid for Ukraine and Israel, but he faces opposition from his own party. So, Ace, why are members of the Republican Party pushing back on this bill?
Well, once again, the House MAGA Republicans, the Freedom Caucus, they're pushing it back for several reasons. One of them is they don't want Biden to accomplish anything while they're in office, pretty much. And so right now, they're using aid to Ukraine and Israel and all this stuff, you know, pretty much kind of as a political weapon to just make things miserable. I think that there's there's a part of Congress that doesn't want anything to operate or work. So they try their best to disrupt that. Now, because they have this issue where they can change the speaker, that's their political power, where if you do this, we're gonna get rid of you, pretty much. And at the end of the day, people are dying for this. You know, we're not living up to what we promised our allies, putting Ukraine in a bad situation. We're giving Putin a hand up. The only one that benefits from that in this country is Donald Trump. That's it. He's the one that's in bed with Putin for whatever reason. We can get into that. A lot of people, they forget history and how he got into the office in 2016. Don't understand. He was in bed with Russia then. We proved that case back then. He's still in bed with Russia right now, and his interest is to make things easier on Russia, and that comes down to the aid to Ukraine. Once again, delaying that to him, having Marjorie Taylor Greene and her pack of goons sit up there and make it hard, and then put Michael Johnson's job on. Like, I mean, let's be real. I told somebody at the end of the day, Michael Johnson ain't our friend either. He's one of them. You know what I'm saying? But he's put in the predicament now to where a decision has to be made and has to be done. And fortunately, the House Democrats are stepping up and trying to get this thing done for us. So
definitely can agree. You got Republicans fighting with themselves, and that little 1% MAGA, they have a hold, and they don't want anything good coming out of this situation because it makes Biden look good. They don't feel like you should be working with Democrats. Again, Congress, that is their job, to work together to push bills
basically
through.
what their job is.
Right. But they don't want to do their job. So here we are.
And I think I've been hearing them also say things about like he didn't include any immigration money in the bill.
Yeah,
shit
turn
like
that down.
Like that's like they always use that, but go back a month. There was a big immigration bill that they tried to put through, and y'all said no to that because Trump told you to say no. But now you're saying put some immigration money in this bill, and that's the reason why you're not voting for this one. So it's pretty evident at what both of you just said. You just don't want Biden to have any wins, because the reason why you stopped the last one is what you're asking for now in this one. So it really makes no sense. I mean, you brought up Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? So one of the people pushing back on this bill is MTG. She proposed an amendment that would require anyone who votes in favor of this bill to sign up for the Ukrainian military. So, Walanda, what the hell is wrong with your girl?
I do not associate with this lady. Okay, first of all. But Greene has been leading the charge to threaten to introduce a motion like this. First of all, she wants to get rid of Johnson. So she quotes, I mean, if you want to fund the war, why don't you go fighting in it? Show your support for Ukraine. Well, MTG, since you love USA, you go join the army. You go join the military. I mean, it's just ignorant statements that she says. I know. Go on, join, ma'am. She's been repeatedly banned.
She can go to Navy. She can come to the army. We don't want
her. No one. She's been repeatedly banned from Twitter, and she was stripped of her committee assignments in the last Congress. She's crazy, y'all. Like, come on. She also said Democrats are a party of pedophiles. They support grooming children. She's subscribed to QAnon.
I was going to say she's QAnon. Yeah. I was waiting for me to say that, but she's QAnon. Yeah. I mean, that kind of went under the rug, QAnon people. But you remember QAnon people?
They were big.
The Pizzagate and all that.
That's her.
They got people running into pizza places and talking about there's a whole pedophile ring in there and shooting them up, and ain't nothing down there but a basement. Yeah, that's who we dealing with, and that's who we got running our country and holding our country hostage. And it ain't a game, man. When you're talking about the world stage and what's going on, like Ukraine, Russia war, all of that's going on ain't a game. And I think that when this is all done, and we see how much devastating damage we did because people around playing politics here in America, we're going to understand that there's a reason why we're supporting Ukraine. There's a reason why we're in NATO. There's a reason why we don't let China and Russia just run crazy in this world and do things. Because history did it before. We had somebody in Europe that decided to just start taking things without nobody getting in the way. And that ended up being a world war, and a whole bunch of people died, and a lot of crazy things happened. Ended up we had to drop a nuclear bomb on Japan. Same thing happened, and we've seen this story before. So when people are talking about holding up aid and doing stuff like that, just because crazy things that were going on over here, well, people are dying over that. People are dying, and we're giving our enemies more power, and we're letting them do the things they kind of want to do and grab up resources and do stuff like that to make our lives miserable.
Exactly.
They're not doing it. They're not, everybody ain't happy with the American way of life. It's some people that honestly want to see that end. You know what I'm saying? And it's called Russia, it's called Iran, and it's called China. That's what their purpose is. They're our enemies. You know what I'm saying? That's just how life is. You know what I'm saying? So we keep playing around with them. We're going to face the repercussions. And maybe next time this year, our soldiers are facing, looking down the barrels of AK-47s in Eastern Europe for whatever reason. We don't wonder how we got in this war and why we got body bags coming back.
Right.
Then maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene and Mark Gates understand how serious this is.
Right. Because she thinks it's a game. This QAnon.
I think it's a game.
Yeah. She said also America should have a Christian government, but I don't think she understands how the Constitution works. But
Religious
said, this is the
freedom.
person y'all voted for. Like, are we serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, she said
She
quite a
means
few
white
things.
Christian nationalists.
Oh
She
yeah,
doesn't mean
well that's
Christian.
another word. That's
She ain't talking about the AME church on the east side.
no, we are not.
She's talking about white Christian National Church
Yeah.
that preaches segregation and preaches racism. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's talking about.
Hateful stuff. She said, "Yeah,
you know, and that ain't what Jesus did. You know what I'm saying? What would Jesus do? You know what I'm saying?
Not that.
They don't have that in the white Christian National Church. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They're using it as a ploy. You know what I'm saying? And and it's sad that they're using Jesus' name in vain like that.
Very
Horrible.
much so.
Yeah.
That's very frustrating.
So you brought up, the world stage, right? And a lot of the people in Congress, especially some of these conservatives, are talking about America should be taking a more isolationist stance. Like, we stop worrying about all these other countries and this, that, and the other. And a lot of people out there, like, we say China's the bad guy and Iran. Well, they say we the bad guy.
Yes, sir.
When you go to their country, best believe they say the same thing. Like, they're trying to end our way of life. They're trying to end what we want. Now, with all of this stuff going on, Ace, do Americans care about protecting America's allies, being part of NATO? Do they care about that anymore?
I don't think we understand it. And I think that's because we don't teach it and we don't talk it. But we also haven't been threatened by it.
Well, do they not care because they don't understand?
Exactly. They don't care. You're right. I mean, but that's through ignorance. Let's be honest, man. We're an ignorant nation. People don't want to face that. But that isolation idea, we tried that in the 1900s, right before World War I. We talked about it. Didn't work. You know what I'm saying? We even talked about it a little bit in the 30s when Hitler took over. Didn't work. We're in a more global world now. Right. Back then, you couldn't get across the world like we can get across the world now. So the world's global, meaning we can get around with the internet. We can get around and talk about things in a matter of minutes. We can't be isolationist no more. The world's not built like that. We can't just say we want to worry about America no more. One, we have too many interests around the world. We have too many Americans in foreign places. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We have too many business interests. We have too many companies. Think about Facebook if we're an isolationist country. Facebook's only going to operate in America? No, it ain't. It's going to operate everywhere. Google, Amazon. Let's take Amazon. They're only going to work in America? No, they work everywhere. They have plants and stuff overseas. What happens when China decides they don't want our plant anymore and they start killing American people that are over there? Then you're going to want us to go do something. We ain't even over there no more because we're isolations. Don't make no sense. That's why I'm saying people are playing and don't understand. They're not paying attention. They're not educated on it. They don't look at the news. They ignore it. But then when the shit hits the fan, they wonder what the hell happened. You know what I'm saying? When they say stupid things like my vote don't count, so I ain't gonna vote. Then what you think is gonna happen when Marjorie Taylor Greene, holds up a Ukrainian package, Russia takes over Ukraine, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, they're messing with American interest and we're at war with them now. Or they attack Poland, which is right next to them. Now because of NATO, we got to go fight them.
Right.
And now your son, uncle, cousin, 20, 21 years old is now getting trained for the military and getting dropped off into that bullshit. That's what's going to happen, folks. That's what it is. That's how that ends. You know what I'm saying? That's, war's been happening for years and centuries. This ain't nothing new. Right. That's how wars get started. Smaller conflicts turn into bigger conflicts. And it's over resources. That's basically what it is. Right. And idiots like Marjorie Taylor Greene that don't have any salt in the game, she ain't got nobody. She's not going to go over there and fight. She ain't got nobody that's going to go over there and fight. You know what I'm saying? Say stupid shit and do stupid things and get us in those predicaments.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. It's really sad because our ignorance is what's getting us in trouble. Ignorance. We don't want to, like you said, people are like, I don't want to watch the news, or it's sad, or yes, it is sad. It's going to get sadder if we don't play a part. And we do have a lot of power in the voting power, but we just don't utilize that. And you go off listening to parrots like MTG, who says all kind of crazy stuff and does crazy things, and you start believing into that, and you go in these conspiracy theories, and it's sad because the world, I mean, if you've been seeing right now, we're already having issues, with different countries just trying to fight each other. Eventually, America's going to be pulled into this. We don't want it, but the United States, it's coming. We're going there.
Yeah. One thing that I think is happening too, that at least recently, is we're supporting Israel. And we're doing a lot to help them. And part of this Ukraine package also includes things for Israel. And I think there's another area too. that is included in this bill. But at the same time, we are supplying funds and weapons to Israel, but Israel is not really caring about what our opinions and thoughts are. They're like, you know what? Yeah, keep giving us money, keep doing all this stuff. But yeah, Biden, you said don't attack. Guess what they did?
Yeah,
they attacked Iran anyway. So I think that's why a lot of people start looking at it and saying, you know what? Why are we giving these countries money? And they still doing stuff that if I give somebody $100 to I don't know, clean my camera lens, I expect you to clean my damn camera lens. Okay. I expect you to do it the way I want you to and listen to my input because I gave you money. We give money to Israel and like, hey, you know, protect yourself. Not kill all these innocent people in the Gaza Strip, not attack Iran, not do this shit. So when people say, you know what, maybe we should just fucking sit back and just be in isolation. Does that add, you know, like, does that add to their point? Does that make them seem like, well, maybe they right?
I mean, you know, it's a complicated question because Israel's complicated. Israel's like the little brother that goes and picks a fight with the bully because he knows his big brother's behind him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then the big brother says, hey man, you know, you need to stop that. And you know, fuck you. I'm still gonna go out here because you know, I just can't, you know, the whole story with that. But the easy fix would be, well, hey, you know, we just need to stop giving them money or whatever. We need to stop supporting them. I wish it was that easy. You know, it'd be good. But because of history, we're kind of tied into doing it. We kind of put them over there. We didn't, but NATO did.
Right.
And we put them over there. They made a big fuss about that in the 40s. They've been having wars since then, all the way up till now. And so we're kind of stuck in that situation. So truthfully, we couldn't even be isolationists when it comes to that, unless we're just gonna say, you know, goodbye Israel, which ain't nobody sitting in this country gonna allow that to happen, you know, specifically. But that's where it is. So you're right. You know, when people talk isolation, can we truthfully do that? No, probably not. You know what I'm saying? But even if we did, what are going to be the ramifications? I mean, that's goodbye Israel. You can say that right now. You know, Iran tried to attack them, you know, just a couple of days ago. You know what I'm saying? Well, about a week ago. You know what I'm saying? So, and Iran's a whole country away from them. We ain't talking about Syria and Jordan and Egypt and Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of people don't like Israel. You know what I'm saying? But America right now reminds me of how I was in high school. Wouldn't pay attention in class and wonder why the hell I flunked the test. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
And a lot of Americans aren't paying attention. And then when these things come up, they're like, well, what's happening? What's going on? And a lot of people talk to me all the time like that. I think every day, like, especially when Israel retaliated against Iran. What's going on with Israel? What do you mean what's going on? It's been on every day, all day. Like, even if you don't read, you should know what's going on with them. But we're so distracted over here as a country and so privileged to the point where we think nothing's going to affect us, but we just don't pay attention. Well, guess what? We not paying attention. We do. We do pay attention. We find out what's going on. So
it's crazy, man, that people aren't paying attention like that. But you need to pay attention to the like button.
I almost did it for you.
Thank you. You set me up perfectly. Also, make sure that you subscribe to Left-Wing Kingz and share all of our content on all of your social media platforms. All right. So, Ace. Okay. Ace. Why isn't the United States providing aid or support to places like Haiti and Sudan?
Wow. Well, you know, why? Well, I mean, we have obvious reasons, but let me speak on Sudan a little bit, just so you can kind of understand the situation, because it surprised me and I looked into it a little bit and I'm still digging in the weeds for it. Sudan is currently having a civil war. And they've been doing that since last year, April 15th. They just actually hit a year. The Sudanese armed forces is going against a paramilitary group called the Rapid Support Forces, and basically they're having a civil war, and it's two functions, and they're fighting over there. And a lot of it's being influenced by foreign people that are just trying to, you know, gain a lot of their resources and stuff like that. But right now, 8.6 million people have been displaced over there since that war. 2.5 million have fled the country. Why isn't America supporting them? I don't have a good answer for that. That's a humanitarian problem that's happening. We haven't heard about it, not to the effects that we've heard about everything else. And that's a big humanitarian problem that they're having over here. And I guarantee you, people don't have any idea what's going on. You're talking about isolationists. Well, we're isolating against them. Now, the obvious reason I would say that's because that's a black nation. That's an African nation. That's why. That's the biggest reason I'm going to point at, because how, when there's 8.6 million people being displaced in the Civil War, we haven't heard anything about it. And you have, you can go on the internet and find it. Don't get it wrong. But you don't hear that on the news. Not like we're hearing about Israel. Not like we're hearing about Ukraine. What's the difference? That's a black nation. Those are white nations. You know what I'm saying? That's basically it. I can't put it any easier than that. And we can say, well, the relationships and all that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be a police nation. Why aren't we over there helping them out? And we can go back to anything that's happened in Africa, and we've had tragedies and wars and stuff like that. And we know Africa got its problems. And of course, America, we can't do everything. We got that. But we're not talking about something that's just small or just like between the nations. We're talking about something that's pretty major. So I'm pretty sure America's doing something. I haven't researched that to see. I'm pretty sure there's some monies that we're giving to Sudan. But if there is, why aren't we hearing about that? You know what I'm saying? Why ain't the media covering that? You know what I'm saying? So, and we also, we talked on Haiti. Haiti's the same situation. And I looked up on this a little bit. They have their own form of oligarchs that actually live here in America that are influencing those wars because of economic value. But they like live in Florida and shit. They're in the country. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's political ramifications, or these people have some influence because they're actually in the country. You know what I'm saying? So once again, these are two black nations that we don't get the media coverage to talk about that, so we can get the support behind it. That's the number one thing. And I do need to do some research to see what America is actually doing for Sudan and all of that, and what their plan is, and even the UN. But we hear nothing about that here.
No, very suppressed. I will say that. And I didn't see anything on Sudan. Even with Haiti, if you notice, it's gotten real quiet. First, you came out there and I said, we know Haiti's close to us. We just, how to cruise. I said, so I still don't understand, if you notice too, that we have really pulled out. And again, I had quoted a previous information in regards to how much money we've given Haiti in the past, but it's the same thing with Ukraine. Like how much money we were giving them. So I don't want to hear about, well, we gave them money before. Well, we gave them money before. So like you said, the only difference I could see on a visual aspect is that we're different shades.
Yeah.
And that's a sad thing. There's still a lot of resources in Sudan as well as in Haiti as well.
And I just want to kind of touch on both of your points, like when it's not showing in the media. And Haiti was in the media for a minute, but like you said, they ain't talking about it no more, and the situation hasn't changed. But I'll kind of use a metaphor, like, or whatever you want to say, like, not even a metaphor. I'll compare it to black missing women.
Yeah.
You don't hear shit about there's a lot of black missing women out there. You don't hear shit about them. Soon as white woman end up missing, little blonde hair, everybody, it's on the news. It's on the national news, bro. It's on CNN, Fox, everywhere. There are a bunch of missing black women out there, and you don't hear shit. Why? I guess it ain't popular news. The media don't talk about that shit. If it ain't white, it ain't right. They don't want to see that shit, right? And then the second point, I'll go back to our show, Shogun.
Yeah.
And this is, everybody knows that colonizers from Spain, Portugal, England came over here and they divvied shit up. They did the same, like Brazil was Portugal, Mexico, Spain came over there. That's why they speak those different languages. The Caribbean, you got, French and Haiti, like all these different people from Europe came over and grabbed their little pieces. Well, when you brought up the fact that in Sudan there's foreign influence, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah, that's probably why we ain't getting involved, because there's probably some other country out there that's gunning, that's backing one side or the other. Yeah. That if we get in there and fuck with it, then it's like they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, this United Kingdom here, we doing some shit. Calm down, United States. This is our shit.
We letting all this stuff go crazy.
Yeah, this is our shit. Just leave us alone. We're backing this." we're letting it happen. You know, we're letting it go crazy because we want, like you said, resources.
Yeah.
They got something over there that we want. So we're gonna back this group. It's happened with in Iran, Contra. It happened with all kinds of. You always have that outside influence that comes over because they want something.
Yeah.
And it stops us from acting unless it's somebody. If it's somebody who we like, we gonna stand back and be hands off.
Yeah, and you know, I was going to say that they're voting on that package today in Congress for the support. But they also have Taiwan in that package.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
there's another like, it's
but
like
Indonesia.
Well, why do they have
area.
Taiwan in that package? You know what I'm saying? That Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel because of China. So part of the answer is Sudan. There's no of our big time players threatening Haiti or threatening Sudan.
Like I said, it's a friend of ours, probably somebody who you said foreign influences.
Exactly.
It's probably somebody we cool with. We ain't gonna fuck with.
Yeah, that's another reason. But if guarantee you, if China was over there in New Sudan or something like that, then that would be an interest. So we would put resources towards that. So, but when I like to throw humanitarian over there. Yeah, it's humanitarian. It's people dying over there, children and stuff. They don't give a damn about that.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No. But the crazy thing is, remember when I remember there was a comment and they were like, "No, you guys stay out of here." Remember some of the people were saying like they did. Yeah, the African. He was like, "No, don't come over here. We got this. We'll take care of our own people." It was a Haitian video, and I was like, "Oh, it was kind of good for Haiti."
We don't want y'all's help.
Yeah, we don't want your help. Stay over there, colonizers. Like basically, I was like, because that's what
going to
they
join
feel.
the gangs, then, bro.
Yeah,
y'all got whole gangs taking over.
But you got to understand,
y'all ain't got it, bro.
But they've seen it. They've seen people come into their country and take over. So I was like, I didn't even think about that. Like that has been their life. You know what I mean? Like, why we think we here? You know what I'm saying? It's like I've seen you take people, migrate them somewhere, use them, and then they become, supposedly part of your society. But they're like, I don't want that. Yeah. I want my own resources. I want my country. I want my language. I want my culture. All you do is come over here and take. I didn't even think about it in that aspect. Like they don't want our help. All they know is they know from America that we just colonize and take.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I hear what they're saying, but and it's just funny. I was looking at this video on Haiti. The young lady was saying they walking around with flip-flops and they got a $4,000 piece of military equipment. They got guns. So there are people that are helping them. They're just helping them wrong.
Somebody giving them that.
They're giving them they giving them guns, they giving them drugs or whatever the case may be. So I understand what that person is saying, but you have Haitian Americans
killing,
Americans, black people here. They're just for the simple fact, just on the eye test. Come on, man, we got to do something. I mean, we have enough people here that's gonna look at that, and we do see that. All right, you got teenage boys running around and they ain't got no sneakers on their feet, but they still know what an AK-47 brand new out of the box. You know what I'm saying? So there is an influence there. It's just the wrong one.
Right.
Well, with this bill, they're trying to support Israel, Taiwan, Ukraine. And when it all started off, Mike Johnson was, talking about supporting the bill, but then people like MTG, what's his name? Anyway, the little group, the little MAGA group, they all started talking about this rule, the motion to vacate rule. And Mike Johnson, initially, he was like saying he was considering getting rid of it. He's like, maybe that's something we talk about. But recently, he backed away from that stance. He says he's not going to do anything to get rid of that. So what is the rule, Walanda, and how could it save his job?
Well, it's known as the motion to vacate. Okay, so it's a procedure in which a member of a legislative body proposes that the presiding officer vacates their office. And you only need one person to say that for the vote. That's the crazy thing. So it's currently a single member can force a floor vote on the motion to vacate. So as soon as somebody says, we want you out, then they have to come to the vote, and that could happen. So basically, Johnson said that the threshold has named this office. So the Republican majority is now the Republican majority, but he feels like it's just not going to work. He understands the importance of the idea, but he said any rule change requires the majority and that the full House, which they do not have at this time. So he's like, it don't matter. We're not going to change it because nothing's going to change because they don't have the full majority. Yeah, they don't have the vote for it. So it's like, it is whatever. But just understand the first speaker was outed by doing so. Oh, dumb. And that's the only reason he got the gavel to begin with. So, Republicans they do some sneaky snide stuff. And again, they work with the fact of, I don't want you working with the other side. It's like the other people are the enemy. But that is the point of their job. We fire
that's
people who don't
basically-
do their job. Like, if you can't work with others,
That's
then you
literally what
should be-
Congress has to do.
Yeah.
They got to
It
get
only makes
together with
sense.
differences and have a discussion and make a
Right.
decision. That's basically what
bring
what,
your
what the
perspective. I
Congress
bring you
is.
my perspective. We talk it
Yeah.
out. We may not agree
Yeah,
about the same way to solve a problem, but we're going to get to the root of
it's
the problem.
a big
Let's
ass
compromise.
business meeting for the government. That's all it is. That's what
Boy,
Congress
fire,
is.
that's why you got to vote, people. Fire them all.
And here's the problem, and I heard this week. Here's the problem with Speaker of the House and why the motion to vacate is so stupid. Because every time they do that and they get rid of a speaker,
Yeah.
we can't do business until we get another
The
speaker.
speaker,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like find your boss at work. Yeah, okay, that sounds good, but what's gonna get done when the boss ain't there?
No.
So you find the speaker and you slow everything down, you slow government down again, and you don't get anything pushed through. That's why we ain't got, you couldn't get anything through Congress when McCarthy got fired or got vacated. It's because we had no speaker. Then we had to go through again and elect another speaker. And they couldn't do that. It took them, 3 weeks to get that done. So it just slows everything down to a snail's pace, and government's not getting passed. Things are getting passed, and your government slows down. That's just a bad way to have just a few people in this country hold the rest of us hostage. You know what I'm saying?
So Steve on YouTube says the same thing you were talking about. Like, the partisanship has to stop. The fact that Mike Johnson might lose his job over doing the right thing is crazy. He also said that this goes back to the fact that we shouldn't have people who don't have a good understanding of world history, politics, and what's going on nationally in Congress or the Senate or the presidency. So he's talking about, Marjorie Taylor Greene and all.
Maybe you should have to take a test,
Well,
like a history test or a
let's talk about
civics
Trump.
test.
Like Trump, he don't even know about the Gettysburg. It got by Gettysburg. Like, bruh, you don't know about Gettysburg? And you the president?
It's the president of the United States.
Like you stumbling on Gettysburg, bro. Really?
Take it. We have a new law that you have to pass a civics test, like a basic high school civics test.
That's 4th grade, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, let's go.
Yeah, that's 4th grade.
Let's see how many of you people
learned that
are
in the
still in
4th grade.
Congress.
Is he learning how to evade his taxes?
Man, Lincoln.
Yeah.
Lincoln had a whole address there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He's not interested in
Four
what
score
happens.
20 years ago. Remember that one, bro? Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ain't
Man.
okay.
Jesus.
It's crazy, man. But
Okay.
Man, we ain't got these people running the government.
yeah, hopefully,
Good
I mean, this bill passes. We get some aid out there to these groups. I think that they need it. I think it's the right thing to do. And hopefully, I mean, I know it's not. Maybe I'm just pie in the sky, but leave this man alone. I mean, I don't like him. He's doing his job the best he can. He's trying to do some things right. We need bipartisanship. We need to be able to compromise and work together. Once again, isolationist. Like, we can't do nothing that helps democracy, the Democrats. Can't do nothing that helps the Republicans. Whatever, man. We got to help the people.
Can you imagine, like, if we acted like this at work?
Yeah.
Can you
Y'all,
imagine?
everybody
Everybody at work, I don't like you. I don't like your
Everybody be
perspective.
fired.
This
You're
is about
a
our
different
department.
Yeah, I mean, can you
Yeah.
imagine? Just think about it at your
Hey,
job.
man, don't talk to them in human resources, bro.
I'm like,
Yeah.
right.
They the devil. They
Yeah.
demons over there.
Can you imagine what you would get done? I just need people to just use real life common sense.
Yeah, marketing's
You know?
a bitch. I hate marketing.
I mean,
No,
The
it's
science
crazy.
department sucks ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
We only like the math department.
Stop saying Democrats got pedophile rings.
Sick, man. There's sick people.
Stop
Democrats,
trying to pass
Republicans.
bills that are going to have space lasers.
Oh, she did say
Yeah.
that too. She said
Yeah.
California's fires was started by space lasers.
Let's
Okay.
let's get back to just what's in front
Common
of us.
sense.
Yeah.
Real work, and stop trying to use Christianity as a weapon. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Cause Jesus gonna come get y'all. Oh, y'all gonna have to
Mhm.
answer to him.
You
And
sure
people
is.
should know that you should live your life right through Christ. If you truly believe in Jesus Christ, you should have to go around telling people you're a Christian. You know that, right? Just to let y'all know that. You should have to be able to quote scriptures. It should be how you live your life. Love thy neighbor. Be kind. Be a good person. Okay? Do the right thing. That's how you show Christian-like values, not speaking to it all the time.
And that's how we're gonna end the show, because that's a beautiful message. So, you know, I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in with us for this live stream this week. Appreciate all the viewers out there on Facebook, YouTube. Hey, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch the videos out there. Every week, we go ahead and break down this into 3 separate videos for you to check out. So if you didn't get to catch the whole live stream, you'll be able to catch one of those videos on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe so you see them when they come out there. I want to thank my queen, Walanda.
You're
I want to
welcome.
thank my king man Ace over here.
Yeah.
And of course, Queen Tina in the background doing a thing for us. And we will see you again next week.